We are at the Reading Public Museum for the opening of Andrew Orth, Engaging Hollywood. This is Ron Shira. You knew I'd be here.
Yeah. Well, actually, they're not hassling anybody with flash or anything down on this floor.
Oh, okay.
Tonight, you know.
I'm kind of taking a video of it anyway.
Great.
Recording the event.
Okay, great.
I'm the director of the Reading Public Museum, and I think this is the biggest Coke Show opening we've ever had. And it is great. I want to introduce our photographer, artist we're featuring tonight, but I wanted to tell you just a little bit about him. I actually met Andrew a little less than a year ago at a party around here, and we got to talking a little bit, and I told him that I was associated with the museum, and he said, well, let me show you something. So he took me to a room, and I went to a computer, and there was a screen, and on the screen he had some images from an exhibition that we had at that time on Harry Bertoia, one of the great sculptors of this area. And actually, he had gone into the museum and taken some videos of this show. I don't know how he got into the museum to do that, but he did, and they were wonderful, beautiful images of the sculpture combined with music. And they were very compelling, they were very moving, and they said something special about this work that was very poignant and moving. So he very generously said, I'd like to give this to the museum, and I said, that would be great. And he said, oh, by the way, I've got my portfolio.
Of course.
Of course. So I had a chance to view some of the images that you see here tonight. And the thing that struck me about these images, of course, there are many celebrities, rock stars, people that we're familiar with. But there was a way with that he was taking these photographs that told us something different about them. They were a little bit more engaged, they seemed a little bit more natural, and they seemed more spontaneous than the usual Hollywood image photograph. So we got to talking a little bit, and we decided to do a show. And it's been a real pleasure working with Andrew. He has a lot of energy and a lot of warmth as a human being. And I think that's one reason his photography works so well. People feel comfortable with him. People feel comfortable to reveal perhaps a little bit more about themselves than they might normally with a photographer. He has a very distinctive career and a career of real distinction. I'd just like to tell you a little bit about some of his achievements. His work has been recognized by a number of elite film, fashion, and music industries. His outstanding work for major clients include Hugo Boss, L'Oreal, Elite Models, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers Music. He also worked for Chat Day and did some very important video work after producing some award-winning video work for Chat Day, advertising and marketing. His clients included Apple Computer, Nike, Sara Lee, Yamaha, and many more clients. Andrew then pursued many challenges, new challenges overseas, and spent 2 years shooting in Milan, the capital of the European fashion world. We are very pleased to have him as a photographer and artist as an exhibit in this museum, and it is a great pleasure. Will you welcome Andrew Orth?
Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate seeing all these great faces here live. And by the way, if anyone would like to see my portfolio after the show, I've got another one in the back here. I just want to make sure everybody knows, first of all, I have to thank Ron Roth very, very much for all of his, contributions to the time that he spent looking over all my work and wanting me to do this. It really was an amazing thing, and I really thank him very much. Also, Mike Anderson, I just want to make sure I've got all of the right folks here. Dave and Debbie Meese, Nancy Chappelle, Howard Hafitz, Jack Cutler, Jane Runyeon. I don't know where she is. Is she here someplace? She is. There's Mrs. Runyeon. Hello. And, of course, my mom and dad are here someplace, but thank you all. And you all, folks, thank you again so much for coming. I wanted everybody to know that I'm also sorry my friends Brad and Angelina couldn't make it tonight. You know, they had something more important to do, like saving the world. But yeah, I've got my great friend Jaime Gomez is here, in from Los Angeles, and of course Quincy Coleman here, who's a very dear friend of mine and agreed to come out and play a couple of songs for us also. I thank you very, very much. Thank you, Quincy. And before I do the last thing, which I hope everybody can possibly get on with, is what I do with this show is it's sort of part of every time that I photograph somebody, I invite them to be part of my world, which is always sort of, I talk a lot like this into the, you know, all the time, and people are always wondering why am I still holding my camera. It's because I feel better with it here, and we're going to have some fun too. But basically, when I have the time to really sit and talk, I usually talk a little bit to people before I get started on a shoot. And before you know it, when you get to be more friendly with them, and people sort of start to open up and engage with me. And that's sort of how this show sort of you know, it sort of took on a life of its own, and I had a lot of fun sort of finding over the past 15 years a lot of this work, because it's something that I constantly do. It's inviting people to engage with me. So that's what the hands are all about, and basically it's another type of communication that, other than just the words that come out of somebody's mouth, it's just sort of a way of reaching out and touching someone without actually touching them. And that's with your arms and your hands. So without further ado, I'm going to have everyone engage with me, and I want everyone to look at me, bring their hands up, point to me. That's what I want. Now I'm going to shoot pictures of you. This is how it lovely. Thank you.
At the Reading Public Museum for the photography exhibit of Andrew Orth, Engaging Hollywood. Thank you.